people that are very resentful of, and I find this especially in the Army when people get out, they're very resentful because they felt like they weren't taken care of. And a lot of times what I try to do is I try to reach out to like the guys that are retiring, like, if you can make this better, how would you make this better? And then I would document. Obviously some gripes we can't necessarily control.
Yeah.
There was a situation where like somebody was literally upset with me because I was in charge of running the German Armed Forces proficiency badge, coordinating for our troops to be there and making sure that they had all the information they needed. And somebody took it personal. It was like, oh, Captain Hamilton, he just doesn't like me. He did da. And they had completely forgot how I'd vouched for them for everything else. The problem was they didn't have the ACFT score or the APFT score to actually participate in the event. And these are things that were up above higher, And so it's these little small avenues of resentment. Like sometimes you look at it and it's hard, bro. It's hard to tell the person that like they actually just, candor is tough. It's hard to tell the person that they actually didn't get it done. Or there was something that they did, or something that didn't happen. Like it's weird how there's like an evasion of responsibility. And,
absolutely.
I found it on the back end. A lot of leaders, when I ask them questions, they feel like I'm challenging them, but I'm actually just trying to take responsibility of my lane to make sure my troops are set up for success. Like there's literally no ego in the things that I do. I just want the information and it's not being put out.
So I like what you said there, because I know for most people, and myself included, so it's probably universal, it's easier to assign blame than to take that personal responsibility. It just is, right? You're like, this is why it didn't happen. It's not my fault, blah, blah, blah. But what I've learned over the years is be very quick to accept personal responsibility and just say, if I failed something, let me own that, and let's not even hide it. If you see me screw up, I'm not going to wait and see if you find out. I'm just going to come to you and say, hey, this is what happened. I screwed up. I failed to do this. Because then what are you going to say to me? You're going to be like, well, yeah, you screwed up. It's like, yeah, I just said that. I know. So conversation's kind of over. Learn from it, move on. And then two, sometimes in life is not fair. We're told that since we're kindergartners. Life is not fair. It does not matter if you've earned whatever it is you think you're supposed to get. Sometimes things just don't work out. So me personally, air assault, right? I always wanted to go. I finally got a slot, and then it came down. They said, no, you haven't been to BLC. So in order to be an E5, because I was an E5, they're like, in order to have the E5 rank, you need to be a BLC. I'm like, okay, I didn't have to be happy about that. And I could assign blame and say, I asked someone, so-and-so to sign me up and everything else. But I said, okay, fair is fair. This is what it requires. I don't have to be happy about it. Just have to do it. So I went. While I was at BLC, all my friends were at air assault, and I felt like I should have been with them. So Crimea River, right? Okay, I moved on. And then I was at National Training Center. This is several months later, and I got promoted to E6. And I got a call from the training NCO. Says, guess what? I have a slot for you for air assault. I said, yes, right? It's mine now. Then he called me and said, hey, you got promoted to E6 and you haven't been to ALC. Like, I just got promoted. And he's like, until you get it knocked out, we can't send you to school. Second time, like, no go, right? So I could blame people for that and say, well, this isn't fair and this is why, and I could have a gripe about it. And anyone I talk to, yourself included, could say, yeah, that's pretty messed up. It's not fair, but like, what are you going to do? Like, sometimes things just don't work out. So how long are you going to drag it around with you, right? So just take a breath, have a beer, talk to a friend and just move on. Otherwise, I think it really is going to limit you, because that negative attitude, I think, is going to keep you from the next best thing, right? The next thing you got going on. For sure.
Well, it makes you an active participant in the Victim Olympics.
Yeah. Never heard that one before.
I like that you said that, like, you were talking about, I'm trying to figure out, you said something. I know we life.